If you've been taking vitamin D pills to make up for your lack of sun exposure, you need to watch this until the very end. Vitamin D isn't just a vitamin. It is a master hormone that controls your immune system, builds unbreakable bones, and protects your heart. But if you're just swallowing a generic vitamin D pill every morning, you are completely wasting your money and potentially damaging your health.
Was there any pushback on this research? Like when you first started examining this and realizing that sun exposure has a lot of benefits, were any dermatologists saying, hey, this is dangerous information, you shouldn't say this?
Hell yeah. I've been denounced multiple times by the American Academy of Dermatology, like officially. They send an official letter when I write an article, and they say, nobody should be getting any sun exposure.
That's their opinion? No one should be getting any sun exposure, regardless of the benefits, the vitamin D,
No sun exposure without protection from either sunscreen or, clothing.
Wow.
And if that makes you vitamin D deficient, take a pill. So that's what needs to change, because those pills haven't panned out in tests. They don't work like natural D does for whatever reason.
Really?
Yeah, they don't work at all.
What do you mean?
So everyone thought, like back in the 80s, 90s, scientists started noticing that people who naturally had lower amounts of vitamin D in their blood had higher rates of all the classic chronic diseases. So they started thinking, okay, vitamin D, it's like a magic pill almost. It'll reduce everyone's risk of all these diseases if we raise their rates of D. So they started recommending vitamin D pills, which I think are still the number one supplement in the world.
I take it.
So then they did all these clinical trials to prove that it would help. Huge clinical trials, tens of thousands of people, follow-ups that went for many years. None of them showed a benefit.
No benefit in terms of your immune response?
No benefit for any condition.
Now, did they take vitamin D along with vitamin K2 and with magnesium? Because that's what's recommended.
So I mean, there were a bunch of different...
Apparently, vitamin D by itself is not effective. That you need vitamin D with K2 and magnesium. And I think there might be another one. Well, see, put that into Perplexity, please. See what it says, what are the benefits of vitamin D and what should it be taken with? Because I think magnesium and K2 are the big ones. And that together they have a sort of a synergistic effect.
Yeah,
and
that could be. I'd be curious.
Yeah, I think vitamin D by itself, the body has a problem absorbing it. It's there's a lot of things like that. Like zinc is like that. You need an ionophore to absorb zinc, so you take it with quercetin.
Yeah. Well, one thing, D, the way it naturally comes in through the skin, and it comes in with a whole bunch of related compounds.
Right.
And so, I do think there's sort of a synergistic effect when it's combined with the right things.
But D from the sun has always been known as the best way to get it. Best way to get vitamin D, the most effective, the healthiest way is through sun exposure.
Yeah, that's how the design's supposed to work.
Perplexity says vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium, build strong bones and teeth, support muscles and nerves, plays a key role in immune function. It's best absorbed when taken with a meal or a snack that contains some fat and often paired with calcium for bone health. So please put in what are the benefits of vitamin D taken with K2 and magnesium. See if it says that. Because this is what my doctor, who is a vitamin specialist, recommends. Benefits when taken with K2 and magnesium. Okay. Taking vitamin D together with vitamin K2 and magnesium can make each of them work more effectively, especially for bones and heart, as long as the doses are appropriate for you. The trio mainly improves how your body handles calcium. Interesting. D helps you absorb it, magnesium helps activate D, and K2 helps send calcium into bones instead of arteries. D increases calcium absorption from your gut and supports bone, muscle, and immune function. Magnesium required to activate vitamin D. Low magnesium can blunt vitamin D's effect and also directly support bone structure and many enzymes. K2 activates proteins that move calcium into bones and teeth and keep it out of the arteries and soft tissues, helping bone and cardiovascular health. Potential benefits of the combo: better bone support, heart and artery protection, more efficient vitamin D use. Okay, so the doctor is correct. So maybe that's the problem, is that these people were taking it with low magnesium, low calcium, didn't have K2.
Yeah, although I'd be curious if there was an effect on disease incidence for that combination. I don't know, because the D on its own, it didn't show any effect, but sun exposure.
Let's put that in. Does vitamin D taken on its own have any health benefits? Let's see what it says to that. Because I'd never heard that D on its own was not effective at all. I've just heard that it was minimally effective, that you had to take it with other...
It seems like it only helps people who are really deficient. Like if you're super low, like below like 16 nanograms per milliliter, then probably it's a good idea. But like for people who already had like at least 20 nanograms per milliliter, it didn't seem to have any of these benefits that they were seeing in people who naturally had high rates through sun exposure.
I answered it the way you're looking for.
It says, yes, vitamin D on its own has several well-proven health benefits, especially for bones, muscles, and immunity. Bone strength and fracture prevention, muscle function, adequate...
I didn't add own, sorry.
What's that?
I missed the word own, taken on it.
On its own.
That's probably why the answer was weird.
So let's see. Yes, it has clear, proven benefits, especially for bones, muscles, and correcting deficiency. So,
So that's going to be for people who have super low levels.
preventing rickets. There it is.
Yeah, but so they had thought that it might reduce incidence of all these other diseases based on what they're seeing for people who naturally had high levels through sun exposure, and it didn't. So then,
Wait a minute, people who had high levels through sun exposure.
Yeah, because like your natural level of vitamin D is sort of a direct like meter of how much sun
Right,
exposure
but this
you
is
get.
natural level. You're not talking about supplementation now, right?
Right.
Okay.
So that was why like people who had high levels of D without supplementation have lower rates of like every disease you can think
Right.
of. So the hope was that raising everyone's D to those levels would have the same effect, and it didn't. Like New England Journal of Medicine actually did a editorial in 2022 saying stop prescribing D, it doesn't work. Which is fine.
God, that seems incorrect though, because if you're taking it with magnesium and K2, it seems that they do work synergistically, and there seems to be proven health benefits. That one of the problems I think is like, I think people generally want to avoid recommending supplementation for some reason. It's kind of a weird thing. Like they want to dismiss it. Like I had a doctor once that told me, don't bother taking vitamins. Just eat a balanced diet. And I was like, look at you.
And,
The guy looked like shit.
He didn't look as good as you, right?
He looked terrible. I was
doctors, I'm amazed how what poor health they generally like seem to
I
be
can't
displaying.
take it. I mean, it's so hard to take seriously a guy with a gut when, he looked terrible.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that I just need a healthy diet. And I'm like, okay, I do have a healthy diet, but also I feel different when I take vitamins, and my blood work reflects that.
Yeah, I noticed that when I started going to all the conferences of the sun researchers, and they're all in like the basements of hotels, and those guys all are as pacey as it gets. Like, do none of you guys practice what you preach? Really?
How strange is it that human beings, with all of our knowledge, obviously there's much more to learn, we're still confused about how we interact with our environment.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
With sun, which seems to be like, it's there. It's everywhere. It's like you're always in the sun in the normal world environment where outside of cities and all that stuff. It seems like we would have an understanding of what happens when you're interacting with sun.
Yeah, and light, period. Like light of all kinds. Like it seems like there's this sense in biology that light didn't matter. It's like just ephemeral, which, the quantum physicists 100 years ago understood that light and matter are just like two halves of the same coin, right? And that light totally affects the behavior of molecules. We're made of molecules. Light's going to matter. So I actually think, like, that's where I eventually got to with the book. I was like, we need to think about our light diets and our like lightscapes that we're, surrounding ourselves with, like, more seriously than we have.